Hey, good evening. Welcome to Cattle Drive Live. I'm Brett Carter, here with my good buddy Corey Thompson. We are season 2, episode 38. Corey.
Hey, we are back at it again. I'm mobile again tonight, Brett.
Yeah, yeah. You had a last minute run for some 605 business. It's just nice that you were able to find you a spot to pull off and cattle drive with us for a
Amen.
little while. We've got a big night planned. We're going to get to talk to the ladies behind the National Western Livestock Show, as well as visit with Dr. Chris Cassidy with VitaFerm Biozone tonight as well. So. Yeah, it's
Yep.
a
Good,
big
good to
weekend.
good to
Yeah,
see you
no,
last weekend
we're coming off
in
of a
Stillwater.
huge weekend in the seed stock business. It's I think you're just kind of fortunate that you made it back home with all the weather between last
Yeah,
week and what's coming at us this week. So anyway,
absolutely.
then here you are
Yep.
traveling again. So hey, let's talk about Stillwater this weekend. It was the happening place to be if you're in the seed stock business. So.
Yeah, boy, it was. That started off with them bred cows and then rolled into the bred heifer division and I think you got some numbers, but it was sure one for the record books.
Yeah, I do. And it started off actually earlier in the week. The Innovation crew had a couple of sales there in Stillwater that weekend. Fitzsimmons crew and Willie Weiss, those two came together for the two is better than one female sale. That was a
Oh yeah.
CCI.live live online deal. They sold them good. Shows here, lot 10 bring 53,000. They sell one for 40, 38, 31, 30. 24 lots average 14,447 to kind of fire the weekend up, and then we move into the Buck Creek crew. My good buddy Garrett Cloud, the crew out there at Yale, Scimitar Breeders, 39 opens, average $14,024. Said eight bred cows, 4,537. 38 bred heifers average 38.41. They sell 86 lots for 85.23 average. With high sellers, lot 22, Scimitar female bring 80,000. Lot 33 was an Angus female brings 75,000. So the weekend ramped up pretty fast. I don't have the report in my hands just yet. But there was a pretty hot online sale this weekend as well with steer bidder. It was the new era. Baylor Bonham and Stock Martin, they loaded the traps there south of town this year. Well, it was sure one for the record books just watching the. I can't wait to get the final sale report, Corey, but it looked
Yeah, I do
incredible.
know that they did break a record in the Kiania breed there for the highest selling Kiania heifer of all time.
Really?
She brings what was it, 242,000?
Wow. Set the record. I'll be danged.
Yep, yep,
Wow. Yeah, that's two young talents right there that'll be sure be a force to be reckoned with. They come from pretty good,
absolutely.
both really, and I see, for me, I could see those two guys making a staple in the female business because their maternal genetics are obviously very strong
Oh yeah,
with both both of those guys. But
oh yeah, yep,
anyway, but hey, the Griswold cattle crew, I tell you what, they sell a genetic sale. Is that right? The night before the
yep.
classic,
Night before,
uh,
yep.
sell 1,033,000 worth of genetics the night before the classic. Saturday, man, the weather turned off beautiful that day. It was finally the wind laid down where you could look around up there. It says a full day of selling, 80 cows average 77.80, 249 bred heifers average 61.60. The highlight was at the end of the day, 58 open prospects averaged
Mm,
$26,709. Uh,
wow.
yesterday portion, the classic, 387 females, would have grossed 3,705,500, average 95.75, and with 1,033,000 the night before, the 22 version of the classic grossed 4.7 million. I was reading here that James Bessler printed this up. He's always got the coolest little silver reports. He said the impact of the now deceased Boston was still apparent. A March daughter by Garth, the Lot 1 female, topped the sale at $130,000. Also, a daughter of Endgame out of a Whiskey 5066 daughter sells that same night. That one there brings $130,000, $110,000. So the Griswold crew, you were down for the week, Corey. Tell me about your part of how you helped the G-Bar crew through the weekend.
Yeah, I brought a crew down from South Dakota, from the show barn, and we helped display some of the bulls that they'll have on display at Oklahoma City and stuff like that, and just kind of took in the event, I guess, and dang sure ate good. They feed the heck out of you at that one for sure.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. A guy, we can laugh about it all we want to, but those guys can only have a sale once a year, because if you ate like that all the time, Jakey, he wouldn't be able to drive down the road. I had some good eating now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, that's for sure.
You were pretty humble about the whole bull display deal, but I think there was like 12 or 14 bulls those guys had on display in that show barn. That was rather unique, I thought. So.
Yeah, there was 4 of them big 2-year-olds, and it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that it was. No, it was a good weekend all the way around. It's one of the anticipated weekends. Lots of traveling. It's always nice to go and visit with people. Sometimes I don't see some of those guys, but right there. But I know I can plan on seeing certain guys at that sale each and every year. So congratulations to John and Jeannie and that crew at Griswold. We've enjoyed having them around all year as a corporate sponsor. And speaking of corporate sponsors, Corey, with us tonight is the crew from VitaFerm and Biozyme, and we've got the pleasure to visit with Dr. Chris Cassidy tonight. How are you, Doc?
Hey, how are you guys at?
Good to hear.
Great.
Yeah, Corey, go ahead.
Yeah, Chris. Hey, it's that time of year. We're going to be talking here shortly with the girls from the Denver Stock Show about putting bulls on display. And, it's that time where people are going to get behind their new yearling sires. Tell us a little bit about kind of what the products you have to help them ranchers help develop them bulls and kind of help them with their fertility and, getting the job done.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I tell you, I'm excited that Denver's kind of getting some momentum and back in its favor, because, I've been going there for years, and it's one of my favorite shows because you can go up on the hill and you can see the fancy show heifers and steers, and then you get right down to the yards and see where the real world is with some commercial bulls and some seed stock guys that are promoting them. And so, yeah, I always tell people, it's exciting because you always think about getting your new bull and getting behind him, whether you're buying him for semen sales or you're buying them to take home, go to work on your cows. But I always tell a lot of people to remember that, when they were presented to you, they probably had the utmost TLC as far as just, their nutrition, and as well as just, getting everything taken care of. Probably were developed in a pretty low stress environment. And then we're going to ask them to hop on a trailer and potentially drive thousands of miles and get totally introduced to something completely foreign to them. They've never seen whatever type of feed. And let's face it, and it's no skin off anybody's back here, but if you got a bull that you buy and you put him in a stud, his feeding regimen and what he's going to be asked to do is a little bit tougher than probably standing in a show barn getting brushed on. So, I always tell people when they get that new herd sire, whether it's in a stud or whether it's at home, make sure you get a stress tub in front of them. And our stress tub obviously contains AmmoFerm, which is that prebiotic, but it's also fortified with a really strong probiotic and a lactobacillus. and that really helps get that gut going right. And then as far as just making sure that gut health is maximized, because that's linked to a lot of different immune function, immune related things. I mean, keeping those cattle on feed and keeping them in the right plane of nutrition is going to be really, really important for your success collecting. I even recommend some people, and I tell them too, if you're still showing them, or just find a way to get Conceptate in them. I think there's a lot of science out there that says, organic zinc, organic manganese, and organic copper, that it's fortified in that product at 2.5 times the NRC. When you bring in AmaFerm with that and tie it all together, not only do you have improved gut health, but you also have awesome response in terms of semen quality. And so that's really important, keeping them healthy, giving them all the tools they can, as far as just trying to get your best bang for your buck. But I know some guys that put it right in the feed. I know some guys that offer it free choice. Depends on how you like it. But as far as getting that new herd sire, it's super exciting. So if you made a huge investment, and I know that's a big hurdle to get over up front, but if you make that investment, I think it's important that you protect it and make sure you look into some of those things. So yeah, it's exciting. I think about Denver too, and I'll just kind of segue into it. My family showed cattle there for years. I've been fortunate enough to judge there a handful of times, and I love that place up on the hill. It's one of my favorites, and I do think about this. And we always have our sale with the Dameron Angus family. We have it late in November, and typically Denver used to be their first show, and so we were dragging April, May heifers 1,000 miles out to Denver, 5,280 foot of altitude, and expecting them to stay on track. And it's hard. It's hard on those things. And now that we've got jackpot shows going across the country, it's a little bit different. But you think about what we're asking a calf to do that's been weaned about 4 to 6 weeks off that cow, and then put her in a show barn and drag her across there. That stress is going to be very, very impactful on her health and her just staying on feed and staying hydrated and all those things that we need to, as far as trying to give ourselves a chance to be competitive. And, when you sell a heifer for, a lot of money, if you're fortunate to do it, you got to do whatever you can as a producer to try to give that heifer or steer or whatever it is a chance to be successful for your repeat customers down the road. So, we always, we use a lot of our VitaCharge lines of products. I think that there's two ways to look at it. We've got some immediate response stuff like a VitaCharge Drench that's really growing in popularity. It's basically a double dose of AmaFerm with some extra enzymes, little antioxidants in there too. So just think of it like a jump starting your battery. It's cold outside like this, and your diesel truck doesn't want to start. You go out there and jump start the battery, kind of gets that gut going in the right direction, and then you can kind of follow it with some of the VitaCharge lines, whether clench if you got some issues, some looseness, or just the regular one to get them up on feed. But lots of different opportunities out there. It's all powered by AmaFerm, which is our kind of proprietary ingredient. But, man, I've been there and done it with you guys. I know exactly what it's like to break that calf, get it sold, then haul it 1,000 miles across the country and expect it to drink the same water or, drink different water, stay on feed. It's tough on these deals. So do whatever you can as far as keep that stress at a minimum. Heck, Corey, there's even guys that put stress tubs out of tie-outs.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you see that all the time. I'll tell you another thing. I remember several Denvers walking up to the exchange building to order hay or straw or whatever from the feed store, and going by VitaFerm and getting my big jug of the stinky green liquid. What do you call that stuff?
The drench. Yep, you got it.
Hey, I'm telling you, if you're showing bulls in the yards, you don't want to do it without that stuff. Boy, in terms of transitioning them cattle, keeping their stool solid, keeping them eating, keeping them drinking, and keeping them healthy, that stuff there, it's magical.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like a power boost. AmaFerm's in all the products, even down to Conceptate and in the stress tubs, but it's double the dose in that drench. So if you're really struggling to get them to eat or drink, I highly recommend it. Heck, our crew, we start giving it about a week out before we even travel. So yeah. It's kind of in our daily regimen.
Yeah, that's something that you hit on right there. I was wanting to ask you. I think sometimes all of us get caught up in the hustle and the bustle, and we don't think about starting some of these products a few days ahead of time before you leave, get things moving. And I've been like Corey too. You get there, something's not right, then you always seem like you're behind the 8 ball, you know. So I
Yeah,
think it's
and that comes with a lot of experience and a lot of failures. I'm telling you, I've treated a lot of calves in that high altitude over the years, and if I'd have just probably done a better job of getting in front of it and making sure that gut was right before I even left, because I mean, with these big cold swings out here, you don't know what kind of stress they're undergoing. I mean, like I was telling Corey today, it's 30 degrees in Illinois, and then it's supposed to be -10 or -2 by this weekend, and 40-degree weather change is a lot. And I remember even the last year we took cattle out to Denver, it was I think 50 at home, and by the time we got to Denver, it was and it was like a 60-degree weather change. So, being proactive rather than reactive, I think as far as trying to set yourself up for success is really, really paramount.
Right, absolutely. Well, hey, it was nice to have you on. I know we'll catch up here within the next month. I know our paths will cross, but I would also like to tell everybody that was watching that if they do run into you, you're one of the absolute most approachable people I know, and you love talking about just cattle in general. I just want to let people know that outside of VitaFerm and Biozyme, it's always a pleasure to run into you and visit.
Yeah, we had a nice conversation there at Louisville this year up at the Grand Drive. That was cool. It's a cool
you bet. You betcha. Well, hey, take care, and we'll see you, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, before I leave, I just want to tell all those girls there at the National Western, thank you for your efforts. Denver holds a real soft spot in my heart. I love going out there, and I can't wait to get out there. Last time I was out there was right before COVID hit, and I'm super excited to see what it looks like again this year. So thanks for all your efforts, and thanks for having me tonight, guys.
All right. Take care, man.
Take care, Chris. Thank you.
Wow. Whoops, sorry, Paige. I was over jacking with the buttons. Shouldn't I was out of my lane, as they say. So, we've been accused of being out of our lane a few times. So,
yeah.
But anyway, oh, he's always a good time to visit with. And so, hey, let's not waste any more time. We've got three women with us tonight that are the drivers behind the National Western Stock Show, and so we'll see if we can't get them in here with us. There we go. There's 1, 2, and 3. All right. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Yes.
Good. Welcome back to Cattle Drive. And so
thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you bet. Hey, just real quick before we get going here, y'all go in order however y'all see fit. Let us know, let the world know who we have the pleasure to visit with tonight and kind of what you do with the National Western.
I suppose I'll go first. My name is Sarah Vickland, and my role with the National Western is I serve as the livestock concierge. So the general goal of my position is to offer extra hospitality to all of our exhibitors, our breed associations, our officials. Basically, if you are with us in Denver, you need help, you have a question, I am your girl. So.
Okay.
Alyssa, go ahead.
I'm Alyssa DePorter. I have been with the National Western as a full-time staff member since last stock show. My position is boots on the ground, any entry issues, show day needs from start to finish. So.
And I'm Jennifer Boka. I joined the National Western team about the end of July, I guess, as the new Director of Livestock Operations. So, that's a big title for a job that really means I get to back Sarah and Alyssa up with the excellent efforts that they make in making National Western a great place to be for livestock showmen.
Yeah, awesome. Well, hey, it's without a doubt. It was a year ago. I think we were pretty fresh on Cattle Drive, and we were excited to have you guys on. But hey, the whole year's behind us. Corey and I were able to come out last year, be a part of your market steer show and commentate through Walton, and so we kind of got to see what was going on out there. The new yards is fantastic. It was awesome. We only got to go at nighttime, which was awesome for me because the way the lighting is down there, I can only imagine. But let's dive right into this thing and talk about the 2023 version of National Western. Sarah, tell me, when is the last chance someone has to enter the National Western?
So today is our late entry deadline, which means
Okay.
that if you're watching this live or it is Monday night and you are watching this, then you still have an opportunity to jump online and enter our show. But
Okay.
if it is Tuesday, unfortunately, we hope to see you in 2024. And we also hope that even if you can't bring livestock, we encourage you to still come see the new facility. There's a weekend we call Herd Sire Weekend, Herd Sire Display Weekend, and there's a whole bunch of activities packed in there for everyone to enjoy. So,
Right.
yep, looking forward to this year's event, January 7th through the 22nd in Denver.
Okay. Incredible. Jennifer, entries have been open here for a few weeks now, I know. Talk to us about what things look like.
Well, it's kind of exciting, honestly, to look at the numbers. I can't wait to open our exhibitor entry app every morning, because watching those numbers tick up is always exciting, right? All that we do is geared towards exhibitors. So I can happily say that our pin show numbers are about between 46 and 50% up from last year. The hill show numbers are up quite a good percentage in everything from our junior heifers to our open hill show. It's going to be a little different look than it was last year in the yards, though. Everyone was kind of dipping their toe in the water, so to speak, to come back to Denver last year and enter the pin show. And I think that if the numbers are any indication of how many people are going to be there in general, it's going to be something to see. Entries have been phenomenal, and we're excited because it looks great at this point.
Right. Good.
Good
Corey,
deal.
she alluded to the fact that the yards were going to be quite different. That's a place me and you have thrown spent a little bit of our younger time, I should say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Everybody has a favorite Denver story.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
kinda
we'll have to get to that in a minute.
Hey, Alyssa, Herdsire displays, when are they due? What are you seeing come to light in that effect, and what do you got going on there?
Yeah, absolutely. Really exciting. We're at about 75 displays at the moment and many pending. So lots of impressive purebred bulls coming to display, and also some crossbred bulls as well. And then businesses to come display and breed associations. So it's looking really awesome. So that's the 12th through the 15th. And if y'all want to come display, you can email me or give me a call, or anybody at our livestock office, and we'll get you placed. Some exciting new things coming into the Herd Sire display that is exciting for 2023. We decided to place a concert stage there in that image by the water tower. That'll play Saturday and Sunday at Herd Sire display weekend. And again, there's that bar there in the bottom corner. Lots of walking around and visiting, and just good memories to be made there. There will be food trucks as well in that space. So, I keep saying it, but truly an exciting place to be.
So you're going to have live music,
Yes, sir.
food, and beer.
What else do you need?
I'd say you'll get some people. Brett, are you a plain beer, red beer, or orange beer guy?
Red.
You're red?
Red.
I'm
Straight
orange
red.
all the way.
You're
Me too.
orange, I'm red. Yeah, I've always been. Yeah. I think it was the hill back in its day. I think that's just what.
You were always red.
Right. I wasn't always red, but yeah, I began to I was red. So
Yep.
yeah. So hey, Sarah, what about some of us that have cut our teeth at the National Western, and we know kind of what to expect. I know the layout's a little bit different, but what else is new with National Western this year?
Well, most likely the majority of our exhibitors this year did not join us last year. So I would say it's going to be a whole new first impression for a lot of the people headed our way. And obviously the new stockyards and the new stockyards event center are very impressive. They are stacked with amenities not only for our exhibitors, but for the breed associations, as well as sale managers. So
Okay.
lots of excitement around that building. We have some new events planned this year as well. Another new thing we have this year up on the hill would be Stock Show U is going to host interactive activities for our junior market exhibitors, one per species. So I'm really excited to see that follow through as well. Another new thing with our show is that we are going to be webcasting through Showbarn Flicks.
Okay.
And also leading into, we are going to welcome you two back to commentate our steer show again, which we're very excited about. That's all the stuff on the top of my list, but obviously new faces, also old faces. In general, we're just really excited to get, again, some more first impressions and feedback from everybody on the new.
You know, I think for years we knew what to expect with National Western. You know, we can laugh about it, say what we want to. We knew when we got there we were going to have to rebuild half of our pen. That's what we were used to for so many years. I was one of the very fortunate ones right there before we had COVID issue. I actually got to spend 1 year inside of the new yards pens and what y'all had built, and they were, you know, I know it wasn't perfect, but they were very welcoming. They were really neat and new looking. You know, I haven't got to see last year. I didn't get to experience that with livestock. Corey and I did go and walk around and look. And it's really neat. I know it's going to be different, but it was really a neat experience last year to see, you know, the very first phase of kind of what the vision, I should say. Last year, I was so caught up getting to talk to Peter Coors, I didn't even pay attention to all the other stuff y'all had going on. And so, not that y'all aren't really cool, and it's great to have you back, but I was starstruck last year. We had the man himself. So.
It's pretty hard to live up to Peter Coors.
Yeah, but I tell you, I only brought that up to say this, that it's not really hard to live up to. What's really going to be hard is living up to that guy's vision for National Western, because I mean, his vision of what he wants this thing to turn into over some time. I haven't forgot that just what they want to see. So.
Yes, and as Corey mentioned, we broke ground on the new livestock center here recently, so that project is now underway, and that is also very exciting. Probably also just a reminder to enjoy the last couple of years we do have left up on the hill and in Stadium Arena, because it is very historic and has a lot of memories for all of us.
Right. Gotcha.
And Peter, Brad, isn't the only one that's like that. When we were doing the steer show out there, Sarah brought by 5 or 6 different people that were on the board of directors and contributors to that project. And boy, I mean, it was a reoccurring theme. There's a lot of people behind that project and are all in.
Yeah, and the event means a lot to the whole state of Colorado, I will say as well. I mean, the citizens of Denver, they leave their Christmas lights up for our exhibitors. So there's a lot of excitement to be had. I think people are ready to come visit the show as well.
Hey, Sarah, I'll leave my Christmas lights up too during the National Western.
Same.
So,
Same. It's
you leave yours
tradition
up
at this
all
point.
year, Brett.
yeah, I don't get mine down until after OYE. So.
Yeah.
Yep. I definitely don't take mine down until after Denver.
Oh, gosh. Well, hey, it has been, do what, Corey?
Hey, Jennifer, during that big weekend out there, you called it the Herd Sire Weekend. What other events do you got going out there that weekend? I know that's always a popular weekend that people back this way look forward to going out there.
You know, it is. It's a weekend that's full of activities. And, you know, really, if you think about Herd Sire Weekend and the sales tied to that weekend and the events tied to that weekend, you really have to say it kind of kicks off on Wednesday night. The maternal merit sale starts there Wednesday night. That's the commercial heifer sale. Then we jump right into Thursday with the Foundation female sale, the Angus Foundation female sale, and then the new Stockyards Beef Festival. And we'll touch on that in just a minute. But that just rolls right on through the weekend. The Hereford sale, you know, the Maine sale. the Western Elite sale, Embryos on Snow. I mean, the entire weekend is filled with phenomenal genetics. Beyond the show ring, beyond the hill shows and the pens, the sale lineup is just next to none. And then, of course, all the cool things that Alyssa mentioned. But we also have this Stockyards Beef Festival that I mentioned briefly earlier. And I think it's going to be one of those things that becomes a piece of the yards that people cannot miss. And it's there's a group of people working to honor the legacy of the yards. And they have created the Stockyards Beef Festival. And it is a wine pairing and beef tasting event on Thursday night there in the Stockyards Event Center. The O'Donnells will play bluegrass. They're a Nashville recording band that also are in the cattle industry. And that night will culminate with 4 females that will sell at the end of the evening. But really, I think what it is it's an opportunity for us as cattlemen to reach out to the community of Denver and show them the quality of our pasture to plate genetics that this industry has to offer. Pair those with some phenomenal wineries, some vineyards from around the country that are tied deeply to agriculture and the cattle industry. Of course, vineyards are agriculture, right? But there are a lot of vineyards that are tied directly to the cattle industry. The amazing lineup of chefs that will be preparing that beef throughout the evening. I think that while we all have to preach to the choir, right, to sell beef, we've got to preach to the people that live in the concrete jungle. And I think opening up that Stockyards Event Center in all of its glory with this amazing beef and wine and cattlemen in a different viewpoint than people normally see will just be like the icing on the cake to that weekend. So definitely, if you are not planning on coming to Denver to specific dates yet and haven't booked your flights, you should be there from Wednesday to Sunday because it's going to be a can't miss.
That's awesome. Good. Sarah come up with this grand idea a minute ago for each one of us to tell our favorite, she said, PG National Western story, Corey. So with all due respect, why don't you go first?
Oh boy. I don't know. Probably I don't know. I got to keep it G-rated. That really narrows it down. I tell you what, mine isn't so much funny as the 1 year. Do you remember the 1 year when it got so cold?
Not and, yeah, you have to narrow that down too.
Well, there was 1 year where it was real cold, and we built like a tent over top of our whole pen and heated that tent, and we were washing in there, and we had our pen of bulls all fit. They were all done. We had them tied in the stall. We were ready to go to the show ring. We just had to paint them, and that that was when Sullivan came out with ultra black paint, and I don't know what happened, but that black paint mixed with the fumes of 3 salamander heaters.
I do remember that.
I remember that actually as well.
We came, I mean, there was 8 people in that tent, and it was just all of a sudden it hit everybody, and they went running out of that tent, and we all threw up. It was a bad deal.
Well, I thought you were going to say there was a straw fire in the yards that year from one of those, somebody doing the same thing.
No, it was, I'm trying to think. There was thousands of funny ones, but I just can't think of one off the top of my head.
Yeah, so I'll tell the same one I told them beforehand, now that we're on here. But when we were at the heel, right in the yards at the saloon, and I probably wouldn't have been old enough to be in there, but I had to go hang out and be a little bit of a rebel, I guess you can say. And I got on stage that night with the band and got this guy's guitar and lip sang and air guitared this song to the point that for like 15 years, Tim Burke thought that I could play the guitar. And so for years, he would tell people about this night that I played this guitar and sang. I couldn't strum the first note on the guitar.
Hey, I do got one more. One night I left the yard bar on the far side, not on the front door, but out the back door. And I didn't think nobody, I was like 20 years old. I was young and naive. And they got them big vinyl signs hanging off the yard bar every year, right? Well, I could just reach the corner of one of those signs, and I grabbed a hold of it and ripped the whole sign down. And I thought I was gonna hang it in my college dorm, and it was awesome. Well, I got about halfway across to the railroad tracks, got halfway across the road, and the bouncer came running out of the bar. And we played hide and seek for a half an hour over there in the parking lot right across from the yards bar.
Yeah.
And finally I ducked underneath this pickup, and I was hiding underneath this pickup, and I thought I had lost him. Well, I was about to get out, and that bouncer come up, and he grabbed me, and he was way bigger than me, and he got me up against the pickup, and I said, "What are you going to do now?" I thought he's going to call the cops, and he said, "For $100, I'll take it and rehang it." And he took it. I gave him $100. The sign never got hung. I'm pretty sure that bouncer made $100 that night.
Jeez. My gosh.
Oh, that's outstanding.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a place that you can have a lot of memories about. We were telling some nighttime memories, but I'll be honest with you, that was the place growing up that you went to show off your year's work of work, whether it was on the hill or with a set of bulls. Corey and I grew up together in the main breed, and we grew up very competitive with each other, and still to this day we are. And the National Western was the place that you measured against your contemporaries just as well. I wanted to outdo Corey, he wanted to outdo me, and we wanted to outdo the other guys. And the National Western was that place that you measured your operation each and every year. And it's exciting to hear you three talk about it. Obviously, we'll get to see you here within the next month, and be exciting to walk through and visit with you and see what else is going on. So, but anyway, hey, real quick, Sarah, Alyssa, Jennifer, whoever wants to address this, if there is trouble tonight, if there's whatever the case may be with injuries, who do they get a hold of tomorrow? If you've got questions about something, where does everybody need to go?
Yep. So they can email livestock at National Western, and then Jennifer and I's emails are also direct emails are on our website, so they can email us directly. And then I'll be in the office tomorrow. They can call. Be happy to help. There's just some things we can't control. Technology is, a lovely thing, but sometimes it just doesn't work. So we're completely understanding of that. So tomorrow's the day. So if they want to have any issues, that's
awesome. Okay. Well, hey, thank you all very much for being part of Cattle Drive, and thanks for inviting us back for the Market Steer Show. And we'll see you here in just a few short weeks.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you for having us. We appreciate you helping us market our event. So
you bet.
Thank you, guys. We look forward to seeing you guys in Denver.
You bet.
Hey, we'll be there.
There we go. Good deal. Well, hey, it's I'll tell you what, that's exciting news for us to get to go back out there and visit with them.
I tell you that Jennifer brought up a really good point, and it kind of hit me because did you watch Yellowstone this week, Brett?
Haven't.
Well, in this week's Yellowstone, that he hired that one gal that's kind of a radical city gal, and
Okay.
Now she's helped with that roping now, and they've worked them calves, and unless people see agriculture, it's
Right.
tough to get their head around it,
Right. I would agree.
and I think where they have an event that's in a town the size of Denver, the more people that get out and see that, hey, malnourishing and beating on and treating these animals without respect,
Right.
you know, the mindset's not going to change it if a guy doesn't do something about it.
Yeah. Hey, I can promise you, and we're beating, I mean, we are absolutely preaching to the choir for our following here for the most part. I know we'll get some new stuff with the shares from National Western. I can tell you this. I'm just real damn sure that when I die, I'm going to heaven. But if by chance heaven is, I get a choice where that's at, I'd like to go to just about anybody's show barn. I want to be a show heifer at somebody's show barn, and you pick the spot for the most part. That
Yep.
would be just about as close to heaven as you can get.
Yep.
People that have no clue the kind of care and nurturing that them animals get in those
Yep.
facilities. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to heaven. And if it's a show barn, dude, I'm winning twice. So.
Yeah.
But now, hey, speaking of heaven, speaking of wrapping this thing up in the Cattlemen's for Christ this week is Luke 2. Luke chapter 2, and it's the first 20 verses. Take the time for you to read that. And that's the story of the birth of Jesus and how that happened. I'm not going to read it, but I'm going to just tell you, if you're looking for something to do tonight, tomorrow, when you hear this, find your Bible. As a matter of fact, just find the internet. Go Luke chapter 2, read the first 20 verses, and that's going to tell you the story of how Jesus was born. You talk about agriculture. He was born right there in the manger, man. So no room in the inn. They found one in the manger. You bet. So hey, take care. We'll visit this week. All things National Western was a lot of fun, man.
Hey, Merry Christmas, man. Merry Christmas to the Cattle Drive Live audience.
That's right. Merry Christmas. We'll see you next week.